the mother of three dragons. I always get a kick out of that. Uh, and just for the people who wonder, what does she mean by that? Let people know what you mean by mother of three dragons.
Well, I stole it from Game of Thrones. But I loved it when Daenerys came out of the fire with these little baby dragons. And I'm a little bit fierce about my kids. So I thought that's like me, except I'm obviously not blonde and gorgeous, but that's okay. I want to own it. So, and if you ever met my children, you wouldn't be surprised because sometimes they do spit a little bit of fire. They're a little
Uh,
sassy. So I think it
oh,
suits them.
that's cool, man. Well, I've been keeping up with you mostly on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And I notice how like you get, you might go to the thrift store or to your local comic shop, and you always have something. You always fighting with yourself, like, should I get this? Knowing you're gonna get it, but it's just the fun of seeing the battle of the, your good side and your bad side. Oh, hold on, you want to
Yeah.
save side and you want to spend side. So, what's
Yeah,
new
that
since the
too.
last time we talked?
What's new?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to admit to how much I am a very bad person. A lot is new. I got a whole bunch more Funko Pops, quite a few more comic books. Here, I'll grab these guys. They're cute.
Okay.
They're little, so I didn't feel as bad. But these little guys were adorable. That was one of the things I bought in front of my children, and they were like, "You're not actually going to buy that." And then they corrected themselves because they knew I was going to. And I'll try to get
What's
my
up, Allegiance?
and he is like the love of my life right now. Well, that's not true, but
Yes.
look, he's so big. He's like the size of my head. So
That's
those
a
are a couple
very
things
nice
I bought.
Funko.
And
Okay.
then we did find, I'll see if I can see it here. Mm, I don't know where I put it, but we found at a thrift store, we found an unopened puzzle. So
Mm-hmm.
some things are expensive, some things are not. Like the puzzle was 50 cents and it had a holographic cover, so we were very excited.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. That do sound dope. Um,
Yeah, so it's always fun when you find something and you're like, wow, it's 50 cents, collector steal.
got to get it. You got to get it.
Got to
So,
get it. Yeah,
let me ask you this. Cause I don't think the last time we talked, which was a couple months back,
that's right.
and shout out to the people that's still tuning in. But thank y'all very much. Make sure you say hello to Channel Six Chick. Um, that I was looking at your profile and I seen like a little cup of coffee and this little list. So I got to reading it right, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and the first line caught my attention. You said I haven't published anything in years, and
That's right.
I was like, oh, so she's an actual writer because I done made friends with some people that the same process that you was going through right then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like what you call it? Kickstart or something like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting into the writing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I guess what I would like to ask you is which is something I didn't know, like what is your like when you do get back into writing, if you haven't stopped, maybe I'm late, but like, what's your inspiration, and what is the process behind your writing?
Oh boy, inspiration is a lot of comic books, obviously, since I'm a comic book junkie. But when I was a kid, I was obsessed with different types of anime. So obviously Sailor Moon, things like that. And my adoptive parents are huge Tolkien fans. So we read Tolkien, we read C.S. Lewis. They are horror buffs, so we read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe. So I grew up in a kind of fantasy world. Loved reading Dragonlance books. So when I write, I'm the least serious of a writers group that I'm in. They all write really interesting horror and fiction based on all kinds of different and exciting things like Sherlock Holmes, and they write really nitty gritty things. And I'm the fantasy writer. I'm the one who wants to write not adult, sorry, teen fiction because I
Mm-hmm.
like to write about dragons and monsters and having friendships with dragons and monsters and running into them at school and just strange and wonderful things like that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I don't
Um.
know if that makes sense. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, it makes sense because you basically told me what. you like about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which that's a question also I had in the back. I was in the back of my notes. It was like a question that I like, oh, I forgot. So I might as well just ask you now since you said that. What, and I think I've asked this before, but what is the fascination with the dragons? Like, what is it that make you like the dragons so much?
I think it's because they're so magical and majestic, like, and I feel like they're just huge cats. Like, you know how cats just they own everything. You
Mm-hmm.
I feel like dragons are witty, funny, beautiful. And I mean, who wouldn't want to sleep on money all day and jewels, right? Like maybe it's not for everybody, but I think just the allure is how they're what they represent, right? They're supposed to be these symbols of magic in life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes
Because
sense
I mean,
though.
unicorns are cute, they're wonderful,
Yeah.
but they're not as awe-inspiring as a dragon.
Yes, yes. And a dragon will scare you if you see it. I know it'll scare me if I see a dragon. I had to get used to it. Do you
I'd
think if you
always
saw
want
a
to
real,
talk to it.
for real,
I don't.
if you, let me ask you this: do you think if you saw a real dragon, would it scare you at first, or would you be like, "I'm gonna go with what I know and see what happens"?
I think I would be eaten because I would automatically want to talk to it. I'd have so many questions for a dragon. Um, so I'm sure that I would ask my questions and it would just entertain me and then swallow me whole.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. All right, well, um, next thing that caught my attention when I was reading down your profile, and we didn't have a chance to talk about this either. I didn't know that you followed Nichelle Nichols, which was Lieutenant I can't never say her name right.
You're
Luhur
doing it well.
Luhura, I can't get it.
Uhura.
Luhura.
We can do this together.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I was like, yo, I'm like, okay, I read what you said about her and how you followed her and was inspired by her. You know what I mean? So, like, asking you now, like, when you, like, when was the first time that she kind of like caught your attention and like, what made you follow her or be inspired by her? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have four uncles, and they were hugely into Star Trek. Um, and I think they were always. I have an uncle who was very interested in the space travel and the science aspect of it. He loved Mr. Spock,
Hmm.
and I thought, okay, so there's a bunch of men in space on these amazing journeys, but they also have a woman, and she's pretty critical to their crew, and she works with them on the bridge.
Hmm.
And what caught my eye was when you're a kid who is biracial,
Hmm.
you don't always see representations of yourself. So I can't, I feel like I'm very white presenting, but my background is very mixed.
Hmm.
And you don't always see positive imagery of Black women or even biracial women, or you didn't when I was growing up, right?
Yes,
I
yes,
had
ma'am.
people say very nasty things to me as a kid. Um, I remember being called a mutt at one point because I am biracial and my brother is looks very different than I am, and people would ask me if I was adopted, and he wasn't. I was in a grocery store once, and there was a woman who asked me if I was okay. She was
Hmm.
implying that my dad might be like a kidnapper or something. It was bizarre.
Hmm.
I'm totally detracting here, but
No,
you
you
don't
got it. Go
often
ahead.
see
Go ahead.
you don't often see, or I didn't when I was growing up, Black women in positions where they were important, they were capable, and they were part of something bigger. So I thought, hey, look at her. She's not what I typically see. She's not blue eyed and blonde and getting this wonderful role. Here's a Black woman who's respected, who's intelligent, who does her job very well. I mean, obviously she was beautiful, but that was not what attracted me to her. So I thought, wow,
Okay.
that's interesting because I mean, I loved Wonder Woman. I loved a whole bunch of other women I saw on screen, but I thought, there's something. I could be something. I could do something with my life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I don't know if
Uh,
that makes sense,
no, it
but
makes that makes perfect sense because you told me someone that you followed and the inspiration behind it and the things that she went through relates to some of the things that you went through. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that makes perfect sense. Also, things that I didn't know was like you wrote down some history like dealing with NASA and things of that nature, and I was like, yo, like I know I've heard that before, but I didn't remember it. So when I read it in your profile, I was like, wow, I didn't think of that. Like I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see her, you know what I'm saying? Like when the part about like you grew up as a biracial, and did she grow up as a biracial too?
No, she didn't. But I
Okay.
mean, other people like Mariah Carey obviously did. And like I
Yes.
found
Yes.
later on in life, you're like, oh, well, there's another one like me. You know what I mean? Just
Okay.
because, yeah, even my kids often um, will read comic books and point out characters that they identify with a bit better too.
Okay, okay. And see, like I said, I didn't know because I didn't know you was biracial. When I seen it, I was like, really? Like, not like, oh wow, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you cannot judge. That's another case of you cannot judge a book by its cover. You have to
no,
understand the other side, so they could, you know what I mean, understand both sides. So I didn't know that, but like that's cool. Also, you know what I'm saying? I
and
didn't know
I
that. So
absolutely in no way want to imply I know what it's like to be an African American woman. I don't. I'm very white presenting, but my family is not.
got you, got
So,
you. Hey, that's.
it is interesting to be part of a culture, not part of a culture.
Mhm.
And then, you see the struggles people have, and people will tell you awful things because they assume you're white. And
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
not part of that. You don't want to hear it. Never
Yes,
will.
ma'am.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's
Understood.
not okay.
Understood. And now, and you know what I'm saying, just one side, like growing up in Canada, and you know what I'm saying, in all of what Canada has, like you said, like it wasn't always easy for you. You know what I'm saying? Because we always hear over here that Canada is full of nice people. We always hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like Canada is the nicest people stay in Canada. I always hear that. So, but coming from you that knows what it's like day in and day out, you know what I'm saying? That's a stereotype because you done met some people that didn't understand, and whether you had to make them understand or whether you just understood within yourself. So
Yeah.
that's that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing that as well. Um, you went to a festival when worlds collide.
It was just
Uh,
virtual, though.
Virtual. Okay, well, still, but so tell me about it. Like, even though it was virtual, like, are there some things you got to see? What was fun? Like, tell us the fun part about it.
Well, it is for writers, and I thought if I joined, maybe I would get some good tips about my own writing, which I
Mm-hmm.
did. And I think the biggest tip was you just need to consistently actually write. Writers are very good at procrastinating, but there were very interesting panels. They had a few on books, well, anthologies that are coming out, and the authors read little pieces of their short stories, which was fantastic. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I learned a bit about some food and drink in writing. So if we're going to write a fantasy, what are these people going to drink? What are they going to eat? Does it make sense for people in a pub to be eating peacock? Probably not, because, that's typically a royal dish. Um, there was another panel on magic and how it works in your books. So,
Mm-hmm.
what are the parameters? Can you just cast spells every day? Can everybody cast spells? Is it something unique to certain people? How do you do that? It was a lot of questions that I don't necessarily ask myself,
Mm-hmm.
but they are good questions to ask
Okay.
when you're writing. And Terry Brooks spoke a bit, so it was nice to listen to Terry Brooks for sure,
Okay.
about his process and how he does things. So I think every writer's process is different, but it helps to have this kind of landing page where people can talk about it as a craft. I guess is something we love to do,
Okay.
and how it works for the rest of us.
Now,
I think it's a good thing.
okay. I'm glad you explained that because some of the people that's in the chat are writers, creators of their own books, or starting to create, or maybe they questioning their writing. You know what I'm saying? So like, what type of positive influence can you say to some of the people in here right now that want to write but can't decide what they want to write, or they scared to bring, not scared like ooh scared, but like in here scared, like ain't
Yes.
nobody gonna read what I write down. Like, what could you say to them right now to pump them up a little bit?
I would say, what's the worst that could happen? Let's say you write a story and you don't like it. Okay, you don't like it, but you did it, right? I think that's the scariest part, and I think we're our own worst critics.
Hmm.
I just recently joined a writers group. That's helped a lot because you
Okay.
realize other people have similar struggles. Not everybody wakes up and says, I'm a fantastic writer. I'm going to write my novel today.
Hmm.
Even among really good writers, there are suggestions you can make to one another. It helps to have that support to read your stories to each other or even share open submissions, like where can you submit your work? I'm terrible at that. So I think it's great that the writers group is always sharing links of different types of stories you can submit. And then I have them to bounce things off of. And they're very kind. They don't ever tell me your story sucks.
Hmm.
They'll give very good constructive criticism.
Yes.
So I think having a trusted support group, where you can share ideas and they can help you out a bit. And again, it's a place where like-minded people can meet and talk about the same things that interest them.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I know a group like that called ASAP Imaginations.
Oh,
Uh, a friend of mine named Mr. Paul, which he is one of the first person I met, and then his partner, Miss L.A. Cunningham, and it's just them. And it's like a team of, I mean, Ireland and wherever. I'm talking about all over on that side. Then come over on your side. Then come down here to the States. It's like they are everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's like just like you said, they unveil their information to each other. When one finished, they send it, then the other one get it, and they do what they do with it, and then it's like it's just like you said, it's a whole team, and it keeps rotating and circulating around. Everybody playing their position, playing their part, and creating their own stuff. And the people that's there to help you, they ain't stepping on you or elbowing you or making you feel like you said, ain't no harsh criticism. They gonna let you
no.
know this what it is. Try this way. Try this way. Let me show you some examples. So yeah,
Yes, exactly.
I agree with that. So that's okay. On the same thing, I noticed you said this name a lot in some of your quote in some of your posts. Tai Chi books. Tell me, cause I know I seen you say you was writing and you got writer friends, but you kept going back to Tai Chi books. So tell me about tell me about Tai Chi books. What's that brand about?
They are a Canadian publishing company. They've put out a bunch of different anthologies. The one I recently bought was The Astronaut Always Rings Twice. It
Mm-hmm.
is about kind of futuristic noir genre. It's not a genre I'm super familiar with, but
Mm-hmm.
my boyfriend submitted a story and it was published.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
it's a fantastic story. If you ever look it up, his name is J.W. Schnarr.
Okay.
Um, but the whole anthology is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I know the editors as well, and they did a bang up job. And they were also present at When Words Collide. They were on a couple panels and gave very good advice for fellow writers. They
Mm-hmm.
were absolutely fantastic. So I think as a publishing company, I think for writers looking to get published, they accept submissions from all over. You don't have to be Canadian. It's totally worth looking at their website. They have all kinds of anthologies. Right now, there's a call out for a women in the sea type stories. So they want, moody stories, atmospheric stories about women and their connection to the sea. That spoke to me a lot. So I'm writing a story right now that I will submit. I always say I'll submit it, and that's the big deal.
Uh-huh.
I always expect to get a rejection, but whether I do or not, when that one comes out, I do want to buy it. So
Okay.
I think they
Okay.
put out a bunch of very interesting anthologies.
Okay.
They're definitely a company to look for and look at their website. And if you're interested in
Okay.
writing, look to see what their submission calls are.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yes,
Okay, so Tai Chi books, Tyche books.
that's right.
Y'all make sure y'all check that out. If you're interested in writing, interested in reading, just check it out. Just support the system. Check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's
support
y'all
fellow writers
yes,
because
support
they
fellow
are
writers.
quite fantastic.
They are
Yeah.
because that's a lot of you know just to somebody who don't write when they see over 200 pages. You know what I mean? It's like yo, and you did this. You know what I'm saying? That's a task. That's a. But when you're done, it's a treat because you like
Yes,
look at what I've accomplished.
that's
While
right.
you halfway done with another one. You know what I mean? Um, so I understand and see that you're very interested in mythology.
Yes, very much so.
So tell me, because you know what I mean, like what what's something good? What's a good positive thing that you can say? Learning, knowing mythology. You know what I'm saying?
I think in some ways we understand some of the magic that created our world. Like there are just some sayings that, revert back to mythology. But if we look at it, there are all these stories that our cultures and civilizations are based on. No, most of us don't believe in, Odin, or, well, some people do, so I should not say that. But most of
Mm-hmm.
us don't pray to Zeus every day. But if we look at the stories, it's again an early lesson in storytelling. What stories were people interested in telling? Why did they tell these? Was there a lesson in there? If so,
Mm-hmm.
the lesson can be absolutely horrifying
Mm-hmm.
or intriguing, right?
Right.
I'm thinking about some of the Greek gods and how they often changed forms to seduce women or take the women. So I'm not sure what that tells us. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if that's a positive lesson to take with us. Um, but I think it's fascinating to the different kinds of archetypes we learn. So we see them again and again. We can call we can call them all kinds of things. Like we can call somebody a femme fatale today. But if we
Mm.
look back, sometimes it's the archetype of the crone, like the trickster woman or the woman who has knowledge. She's dangerous. They're not always the same. They change through time, right? They
Mm-hmm.
they transform as we do. But it's interesting to look at parallels, like things that were as part of an ancient pagan cult, and then we can see pieces of that now in Christianity. And how do these archetypes, how do these characters still kind of exist in our story and our storytelling,
Okay.
right? Like we
Right.
have in Ninja Turtles, we have a wise mentor. We see that a lot in mythology, where we have a character who is wiser, smarter, and they'll take on informing younger characters or guiding them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Um, OG Green Lantern wanted to know Roman, Greek, or any kind of mythology. The one that
um,
you the most.
I studied a lot of classical literature, so I studied a lot of Roman and Greek. Because of my background, my dad's Egyptian. I studied a lot of Egyptian mythology. I'm just learning a bit more about Norse mythology right now, which is fascinating. And you can read, if you like comic books, you can read Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. You don't have to read an encyclopedia. It could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'd really like to learn a lot more about mythology from different cultures. I don't know a lot about Japanese mythology. I don't know. There's whole benches of mythology coming out of Africa that I know nothing about, which I think I would love to learn. So it's
Okay.
just rich and fascinating, and it constantly informs how stories are told and even how we look at things as a society a lot. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
And also, Fire and Brim's Warren wanted to know what is the book that made you want to write.
Well, that's a good question. um, I think I'd have to say the Chronicles of Narnia, because I was given those as a gift, and then I kept rereading them. But I think also Jim Henson's movie The Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie, right? So, but I thought it was such an interesting world. I wanted to explore what it would be like to create a world like that. What would it be
Mm.
like to have this place where somebody can gift you an orb that will let you live your wildest dreams? So I
Mm.
thought that was interesting. I realized you
Okay.
can make anything when you write.
Yes, you can. Hold
Yeah,
on.
and that's the
Knock on the
next
door.
part.
Hold on, lady. Huh? Doing the show, doing the show. Oh, let her in. Sorry, my sister had let my little dog in here. You getting ready to go?
Hi.
So, you can let her stay. Oh, you going to the park? Go, Bella. Go on to the go, Bella. We doing the show. Come on, let me let Bella say hey. Come here,
I think
Bella.
you
Say
should
hey.
show us the dog.
Say hey, everybody.
Oh my God, she's so
Say
cute.
hey. That's Bella.
Hi.
That's Fuzzy Booty right here, y'all. She
Oh,
gotta
I want
go.
to boop her nose. She's so cute.
She gotta go. She going with big sister.
Aw.
Y'all be careful, sis. I'll holler at y'all when you get back. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to, you know how family time is. um,
That's
and
adorable.
so I guess that goes right in. I guess we can just segue into this thing. Uh, as a woman, mother, you know what I'm saying, loving the things you do and that make you happy. Uh, and it's a worldwide question right here, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been a lot of crazy mess going on, you know what I mean? So, but at one point within this year, you know what I'm saying, it seemed like the woman got attacked pretty hard, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, without even forget the names and the labels, just as a woman, you know what I'm saying, when you see so many things going down in the news and certain laws getting changed and stuff like that, how does that, you know what I'm saying, make you feel? You know what I'm saying? Two-part question, with you being a strong woman as you are, you know what I'm saying, what makes you stronger after seeing stuff like that and be able to tell younger girls and younger women, you know, like, and talk with your friends and conversate, like, you know what I mean? If you feel where I'm coming from, floor is yours.
I think I think you get angry. I'm very angry. That brings out, my dragon self. But at the same time, it's exhausting. You think about
Yes,
it, you're
ma'am.
like, how long have we been fighting for these rights? Why are we still fighting? It seems absurd to me that, like my mother, my grandmother fought for these things and it's not over. So now I'm still fighting for my daughters. And I sometimes I think, if we were trying to regulate men's bodies the way we're trying to regulate women's bodies, there'd be all out war. There'd be revolution. Parliament buildings would be, the windows would be smashed. So it's very frustrating. How do you effectively fight? Like what do you do? Is it words or is it letters to politicians? Is it protest? Is it violence? Obviously you don't really just violence is a last resort, but what do you do? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I think it's so frustrating is that it's been going on for so long. And how do you how does anybody justify this? Like,
Right.
it just blows my mind. I'm like, I don't understand how people sleep at night. I don't know how best to fight them. And it's a sad message you give your kids, right? Where you say,
Yes,
I will
ma'am.
do everything and anything to defend you and to fight for your rights. I am disgusted and don't know what to tell you.
You right. Like I said, I'm a dad, and my daughter is 21, turning 22, and in December, and we always like me and her mother weren't together, but we was there for her. Like I wasn't the dad that ran off and child support this and locked her up and have to explain yourself to your daughter. I was always there for her when I was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But we stayed in different towns. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to my grandma teaching me right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and my uncle. So it's like, okay, when I see stuff like this, what you just said, and then when I see stuff that's going on out there, when it comes to a woman's rule, a woman's law, I really don't feel like I have much to say because, you know, that's y'all body. Like, I understand what others be saying. Like, I understand what the ones I don't agree with. I understand what you're saying, but it draws back to it's their body. Just like you said, which is a question
It's
in my
it's
head.
not even just their body. Sometimes I feel like we're so gun ho on protecting, if we say pro life, but we don't care what happens to that life after. There are almost no programs in place to support um, young mothers, single mothers, even women who have been the victims of violence. What if they have this child? I feel like as a society, we want these babies born, but we don't want to take care of them after.
Hmm.
And I think as men, I love that you said it's not your body, it's not your choice, but I love it when men use their voice to advocate for women
Mm-hmm.
and say
Mm-hmm.
that. So thank you for saying it publicly.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just wish more men would vote that way. I wish more men would join in protest. Because it's one thing to say, oh, it's your body, your choice.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I appreciate you using your voice to say that and advocate for that. Because
Yes, ma'am.
sometimes it feels like men have louder voices. So if what it takes is men standing beside their daughters, sisters, mothers, and saying, yes, I agree with her, she should have this, then I appreciate that.
Yes,
As
ma'am.
a dad, and you have a daughter, that's what men need to do is stand behind that decision.
Yes, ma'am. Cause
Yeah.
she two things I want to drop. They made a rule. It was last month I was watching. Seems like whenever I see political mess, when I'm feel like watching it. What's up, Sister Les? Whenever I feel like watching it, it always be late at night when stuff happen. That's in like when stuff change.
Yeah.
So I seen where the woman said, I don't think that it's our job to. It's not the government's job to pick who someone loves because they made the law on same what you call same gender marriages and this marry who you want to marry law.
Yeah.
So that made me instantly think, how you gonna say that, lady, when y'all telling the women's what they got to do, what they when they get when you like how you gonna say that when when you doing this over like how I'm like,
It's
wow.
and that's where it's so discouraging. You just don't know what to tell your kids, especially if they're girls. Like I have a son, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, and I,
Yes.
I want him to grow up fighting for his sisters, but I mean, you really just don't know what to tell your female children,
Yes. You know
or
what I
even
mean?
anybody who identifies as female. Like I don't know what to tell you, because it's, what do we do?
What do we
Something
do?
has to be done, but what
Yeah.
do we do?
My daughter, she growing up like a mom, so a mama is a thicker lady, you know. So she started growing like a mama. She grew up. When she was growing up, she was as slim as a stick. She was as
Yeah.
big as a switch. You know what I'm saying? And then she started, like her mom, growing out like her mom. You know what I mean? So then she came to me a couple weeks ago and said, "Dad, I want to tell you something." I'm like, "What?" She said, "I'm having, top surgery. I'm getting reductive." I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you are? What right do I have to tell her, no, you don't need to do that?" You know what I'm saying? What right do I have to tell her anything that go on under her clothes? Because that's her body. And she's a grown 21-year-old. Yeah, I'm her daddy. Yeah, that's her mama. Yeah, your mama done did it before. She had to do it, but that
Yep.
and that's just the outside of the gate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
And we're talking about somebody who was born female, identifies that way. I feel like there's so much politicking. I don't know if that's even a word going around about transgender rights. Again, it's the same thing. Who is anybody else to say what somebody else's identity is? If somebody tells me, I have a nephew who was born female and is transitioning, and the amount of criticism is astonishing to me, because who are we to say anything? Like,
mm-hmm,
if this person feels this way, then I think all we can do is support them, and that is their right.
right.
Again, their body, they have to live in it. Not me, not you. They do. So
They
how
do.
on earth can anybody else police that? Is
Can't
what just
police.
shocks me, right?
True. True, and that's a good point too. You know what I mean? Especially when they choose. Some people be thinking that like other folks be making them choose. No, there ain't nobody making them choose. That's what they choose to do. You know what I'm saying? That like everybody got the the gay cousins and lesbian cousins and stuff. And if anybody mess with them, you would try to kill them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So respect them. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm gonna run quick story. Quick story.
Yeah, go for it.
I come from the restaurant. Everybody know cook. Everybody know cook. I'm the cool guy in my city. Everybody know me. All the restaurant peoples, I'm cool with all of them. So it's like this. Halloween, I had a party. Old peoples, the restaurant peoples, the whole crowd, everybody came. So just imagine like 100 people in a apartment that probably could only fit maybe 50 outside and in. We having fun. So it's a couple of people that's in the crowd that's gay and lesbians. And my one buddy, he walked up. I'm cool with him because so I used to date his cousin, which y'all know what I'm saying. So I'm telling him, y'all come to the party too. Y'all come on. So when they got to the party, everybody dressed up. I told him, I said, look, I said, y'all can party as much as y'all want to. If y'all had any problem, come to me or my roommate and we'll handle it. Ain't nobody messing with y'all. We invited y'all because y'all our friends and we
That's
gonna
right.
party hard. Just remember that, everybody don't have the same taste. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if if I test, like, okay, like, oh, them people over there smoking, I don't smoke, so I'm gonna stay over here. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the party's still going. Then as everybody started getting along, dapping up, fine, everything. Put like this, the party went on, and the only trouble we had was an ex-girlfriend and an ex-boyfriend linked back up and then broke right up at the same time. But what my point is, that bull crap didn't happen at my party. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure that
Memories that
everybody,
happen. Right?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, so
I
okay.
100% agree with you.
Thank you. I wanted to touch bases with you, just on some you know, because even though you do the collections and have fun, you know what I'm saying, it's still stuff that's going on, and I know that you know it. So that's why I
Oh
just
yeah.
want to kind of break down a few things with you and ask you, just because, like I said, you're a person first. You're a person first. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So,
And I'm gonna say 110% an ally.
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Always. That's right. Okay. So now, all right, let's go on and get into some TMNT stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So now me, I have gotten behind on my TMNT knowledge and stuff, but I have been trying to keep up. My partner OG from the Common Dudes, he sent me the hard copy, the hardcover book of the whole Last Ronin
Oh,
series,
how awesome!
which was my favorite. Yeah, I got it right here. You know, I got to
Did you
show you.
cry a little bit?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I by myself I did. Hold on, let me show you. I had to show you. Shout out to
Oh, that's
OG.
beautiful.
Shout out to OG. Hold on, no. This the other one. This the Ultimate Collection Volume 1. My bad.
I was
I
gonna
have
say
the
that doesn't look like Last Ronin,
yeah,
but I didn't know if it had a different cover.
I have it. Here you go. I'm sorry. This what this
Ah,
is, which I know you know. Hold on.
nice.
Now let me get it.
I'm like, here, I've got some Last
Now.
Ronin here too.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We
You know
can
what I'm
show each
saying?
other our Ronins.
Let me see yours.
See, this one even has a cover with April on it, so I had it handy.
I have those. I have those. Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. So when it comes to the last round, what has been your overall, or your overall, just whatever it is in here? Because you TMNT for life. So like,
In here,
how?
it's
Yes.
it's all the feels. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to ruin things. I assume people who want to read it have already read it.
They
But
better.
the turtle they chose to be the last one is obviously dear to my heart. So I really got into his inner dialogue, and even just having the ghosts of his brother, and they play out the same dynamics even years later. And I think it's just so moving. I think it's the story everybody who grew up with TMNT is ready for, because now a lot of us are like, me, 41.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay with the dark. We're okay with the gritty. We don't necessarily. That's not true. I'm just gonna say we don't need the fun cartoon, but we always need the fun cartoon. I think
Always.
we were just ready for this too. We're ready to see
Yes.
them as fun-loving pizza dudes and this heartbreaking saga about their family, and honor and tradition and even revenge throughout so many years in this case.
Okay. Because I've been like, before last Ronin, the first one came out, everything was all about Marvel and DC, right?
Yeah.
But when this dropped, when the first one dropped, I want to say this what the cover looked like too on the first
Yes,
one.
it is.
when the first one dropped, I was like, wait, whoa, wait a second, Last Ronin? What they mean, Last Ronin? I'm like, hold on. So once I got to reading, I'm like, oh man, they knocking them down in here. Like it's going down. Like, wait a second.
Yeah, and you figure out why they chose that name, like why it's a Ronin. Um,
Now,
yeah.
now for me being born 1980, I remember all the turtle stuff as far as what I can remember. You know what I'm saying? Not the
Oh
guru,
yeah.
just I can, open the door up. I remember a little bit and close it back up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I ain't gonna spoil it for nobody that ain't read it, but I figured out who he was before issue 2 from
Yes.
simply uh from simply one phrase, and it was one little scenario. And I don't want to give it away, but I was like, wait a second, that sounds like what they be saying to. And then I was like, I'm gonna wait till issue 2. You know what I'm saying? So when
That's
you
right.
found out who he was,
Yeah.
how'd you feel?
I think I jumped. I was like, yes, because that was my guess. I had everybody telling me that won't be the right. You're wrong. It won't be him. And I was like, I bet you it will because he's the least likely to survive that long. They're
Hmm.
going to choose him because nobody would expect it to be him, right?
Yes.
There were lots of other guesses, right? So I can't ruin it
Yes.
for other people, but
Can't
there
ruin
are
it.
very obvious guesses. Like who's the toughest turtle to you? Who would you
Mm.
say is the toughest one?
I got a question for you down here too.
Yeah.
OG Green Lantern wants to know: do you remember the name of the original fifth turtle?
Yes, it was Venus.
Venus.
Yeah.
Venus. That
Yes.
and see that's dope. Cause man, well, thank you, OG and Miss Liddy, cause that goes into the next question, which I love about this stuff. Janika, that's the right way to say her name. Is it Janika? Janika, how you say
I
her
say
name?
it Jenica, but I like the way you
Jenica.
say it better.
Okay.
No, I like your way better. Say it that way. It's really
Okay,
cool.
Janika. Janika? Okay. So
Yeah, I like it
Janika
better.
was introduced in 2019 TMNT number 95. And she was welcomed as a sister. Okay. And I'm asking you, because I need for you to teach me something on this right here. I had a book, but I didn't read it. So I need for you to teach me on this. What makes her unique?
I think because she was human. Um, the other one, okay, arguably once long a time ago they were human, and in this reincarnation they are turtles. But Jenica has never had multiple experiences. She was born human in this lifetime, and the turtles were not in this lifetime. So I
Hmm.
think that's a big thing. So she got to grow up among the human population. They did not. Um, and it's a big adjustment for her to be a turtle because she did have a whole other life prior. She doesn't
Okay.
have much of a choice about it. She can either die or she can become a turtle.
Hmm.
Um, so I think, again, it's having to make a decision, based on life or death, not really having time to think about it, having had the life she had previously, and having to adjust, like losing all her friends, losing her family, losing everything. And she didn't grow up with them, which I think is the biggest thing. They
Hmm.
accept her as a sister, but she does not have the history with them. Like when
Okay.
they're reminiscing about when they were 5, and another time when they were 10, and do you remember when Master Splinter did this? She's not in on those discussions.
Hmm. Okay.
It's going to take her time to get really ingrained in the family.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So.
Yeah, that's true. She did. There's a comment that April became a turtle once in the Archie series. Yeah, and
Yes.
in the cartoon version, the first cartoon, she also became a cat at one point. So she kind of knew what it was like to be a mutant. Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. That is true.
Here go another one for you.
Yes. Do you remember
Original
her original job? Yes, she worked with Baxter Stockman. She was programming the Mousers. So she
programming
was
the
not,
mouses.
yeah, she was not originally a reporter. She actually was a bit of a computer genius and a programmer.
Okay. Yeah, they coming in now. Okay. Another one for you. Who do you think will win between TMNT versus Batman?
Okay, that's a tough one. And people won't like my answer.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Because I feel like Batman is ultimately just a rich dude with good gadgets. So, and I feel like he doesn't do a very good job being a rich dude. I think he could put a lot more money into taking care of orphans in the city and putting it into social programs. But obviously, that would not be a very good comic book. But in the TMNT versus Batman, he actually was a pretty worthy opponent. He went head to head against Shredder, and he pulled some good moves. So that's tough. I have to say, the Turtles would, because they train every single day since they were little baby turtles.
Got the ride.
And if Batman's gadgets lose their Bluetooth, I think he's toast.
Hey,
I
y'all
just
be
feel
hard.
like we
Y'all
started
hard
a
on my
nerd war.
Batman.
Start a nerd
Y'all
war.
hard.
Go ahead.
I love my Batman. Y'all so hard on my Batman, man. It's all right though. It's okay. Can't do nothing but understand because you know the turtles have been training since they was that big.
So it's itty bitty.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And if I lived in Gotham, I'd be like on Harley and Joker's side.
and we're gonna get to the Harley. We're gonna get to that because you are a Harley fanatic as well. You got a lot. I saw that video with them pops. I
I'm
saw
looking
that.
at them right now. I'm like, that's a lot of them.
I mean, yo. So we getting there though. But that's
I'll
I
grab my
want.
latest Harley thing, actually.
Okay.
See, when we talk about what's new, my kids bought me this.
Hmm.
Yeah. So they saw the Harley Quinn car and they bought it. So I got a
I
Harley
liked
Hot
it.
Wheel.
I liked it. I liked it. Okay. So, as far as okay, I asked you about Janika. So I was going into I want to say after. Let me see. Union Square. I know. I'm pretty sure you are up to the story. Union Square called a mutant bomb, which caused mutant hybrids.
Yes.
Uh, and we and now this is where I'm shocked at. Now I really need you to tell me this. Rumor has it that we got some new mutants coming, new turtles.
Yes, and I don't know if these are. I'm not there. I don't know if these are, versions of themselves from the future, the past. I don't know if they're new
Mm-hmm.
turtles, but we do have more mutant turtles. We have Jenica, we have Lita, um, we have a reappearance of Venus. So I mean, they're not the only turtles.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know who
Mm-hmm.
these four are. They're
Okay.
mystery turtles. Like they're mystery bags. We'll open the bag and find
Mm-hmm.
out.
I wrote down a little bit of information, just a little bit that they wear gray masks that cover the lower part of their faces. They use the same weapons as Leonardo, the original four.
Yeah.
So I wrote that down to ask you, what is your take on the events that are gonna come? You know what I mean? Like, with you being a avid buyer of TMNT products, when you know the backstory, you know the modern day story. What's your take on the future stories coming?
Oh, this is like an alternate universe. These are like ghost turtles of some kind. I don't know. Like, how we have like the multiverse?
Yes,
So,
yes.
different versions of Spider-Man can cross and see each other. Um, I'm going to guess this is some kind of, I don't know if they're future selves. I don't, you know what? They could even be higher power selves. I don't know. There's a lot of talk about them
Mm-hmm.
like
Just don't know.
transcending themselves. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do.
Yeah.
I don't have a really good educated guess. I'm sure somebody in there in the chat is going to be like, well, actually, they are this. And they
Mm.
might be right. I don't know. I'm
And
all
see.
for some kind of time or dimensional crossing since we already have these turtles being reincarnations. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, the door is wide open. Who knows?
Okay. Now, before we go any further, two questions for you. Will we see a female TMNT team?
I don't know.
No,
That's a good
no. I
question.
don't know, A.
I
John.
I'm not for doing it just for the sake of doing it.
Uh-huh.
Um, but if we can do it and it makes sense, why the heck not?
Okay. Cool. I like that. And 605 Brims. Salute. Shout
Yeah.
out to you, bro. Channel 6. Do you prefer the more realistic Mirage books or do you like the crazy cosmic outer space issues?
Oh, I that's tough. I loved the the crazy cosmic issues.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I thought they gave us really interesting storylines, but I think everything's rooted in the Mirage books. Like we have nothing to build on if we don't have those. So
Mm-hmm.
one doesn't exist without the other. I think it sets the tone for us to do anything we want with turtles. So if we go into outer space, I thought it was fantastic. But would I replace one with the other? No, one is crucial to building on, right? When we talk about mythology and we talk about societies and civilizations being built, the turtles
Mm-hmm.
have their origin story. That's their starting mythology. We can build anything we want on top of that, but that's definitely important.
Okay. Okay. Um, are you familiar with TMNT, the Armageddon game that's gonna be on the way?
Yes,
Okay.
I have
Uh,
one of them right here, actually. See,
okay.
I'm
Okay.
all ready today.
So eight. So which is of that is part of an 8-part series.
Yes,
IDW Tom Waltz teamed up with, I want to say his name right, Vince. I can't never say his name. Federici, but he has his hands in
you're
with Red
doing it well.
Sonja. I
Yes,
think I said it right.
you
And
did it beautifully, better than me.
okay, cool. I try, but I understand that this series right here, Channel Six Chick, is gonna be game changing for TMNT from here on out.
Right?
Uh,
Yeah.
since you already have been in the book, I ain't asking you about nothing in the book, but overall, what type of betterness will we have for TMNT looking forward?
That's a that's a big question. um, I think as always the universe is expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know certain parts of it some people in the fandom don't like, but I'm just curious to see how far we can push the envelope. Like we've come to
Okay.
this point, and I feel like you're right. Now we're gonna push the envelope a little bit more. So
Okay.
let's see what happens. Let's see what craziness comes out. Does it make sense? Do we love it? Would we do it differently? I don't know. Which
Okay.
is I think what's exciting about it, right? Some comic books are a little bit more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep this going for so long and keep making it different?
Hmm. So, what would you? I know, like I say, like I always say, you always are into your TMNT. What reality based parts can you see in TMNT with what we're going on in the world today? You know what I'm saying? Which would make them even more interesting to keep up with.
Well, I think with the world divided up into, well, not the world, but the town divided up into mutant town and non-mutant town. So
Hmm.
we have people living on one side of the wall with all of their privileges. Um, and then we have the people living in mutant town who clearly like they can't cross the wall, it's being guarded. I think that's a message about a lot of things going on in the world.
Yes, ma'am.
That certain people are considered citizens and others aren't, like we were talking about earlier. um, I think that's an extension of what we currently see in the mutants getting frustrated and fighting and trying to get supplies and just trying to take care of each other. So I mean, within the tragedy in mutant town and how they're excluded and they're taken away from the rest of society, we see them really taking care of one another and accepting each other. And I
Hmm.
think that happens a lot too when we have a social climate like that. I
Okay.
didn't mean to give such a political answer, but
But
um,
sometimes it's needed though. It's needed though. You know what I mean?
it is. So I think that's why a lot of people can read it and say, you know, you don't have to say, oh, well, that's ridiculous. We don't have half of our population being mutants, but change mutants into something else. Change it into being female. Change it into being part of the LGBTQ. What rights do people on the other side of the wall have that those in mutant town don't have?
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. And that's what I'm saying, probably just one of many reality ideas that you can get out of TMNT and
yeah,
some of the things that they have going on. You know what I mean? Just being treated different because they look different. Like that's one that you can always see. It's like, oh, everybody hate us and want us to run away, but when they need help, here we come.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm
And then
saying?
you can go right back to the other side of the wall.
You know what I mean? Right back to the other side of the wall. You see what I'm saying? So, okay.
And then I
Um,
mean, we have like Baxter Stockman and corporations having their hands on all kinds of things they shouldn't. And I
mhm,
think that's a very huge fear of people that, we will end up being run by corporations. Even if you take something like an old commentary like RoboCop, where, the government owned his life. I think if we take it even to that extreme, it is a fear that, the government will own everything. They have all
mhm.
these secrets we don't know about, um, and what's going to happen. So I think there are a lot of fears that are real in a
Right.
comic book. And I think TMNT touches those in, obviously fictional ways. But if we look at them, they make sense.
Okay. That's a good point too. That's a great point. Um, so with what we have coming up, and I've also heard that there will be a rebooting of the Turtles. Seth Rogen got his
Yes.
hands on them. So,
Next summer, August 2023.
yes, I wrote down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? CG animated TMNT,
Yep.
action adventure, coming of age story. Do you see a successful project within this?
I will absolutely go see it.
Hmm.
I won't know till I see it if I think it's successful or not. But I think within the fandom, some people will love it, some people will hate it. Just like if we look at the rise of the TMNT cartoon, some people absolutely hated it. They said this is going against everything it stands for. And then you have other people who loved it and got that the art style was going back to the graffiti of New York. And like, I have a 6-year-old son. He thinks it's the bomb. So is it
Okay.
going to be fantastic? Well, I guess it depends who you're going to ask, right? I don't know what they're going to do with it. Once I see it, I'm sure I'll have an opinion for you.
Okay. Okay.
But
Cool.
I think anything new, we just have to be open minded about it, right? If we're open minded about Batman and we're open minded about multiverses and we're open minded about all this stuff, why should we not be as turtle fans?
Okay. And the reason why I asked you that, I probably didn't ask it to you the right way, but the reason why I asked you that is because some of the past turtle projects, I hear a lot of complaining, or they should have did this, they should
Of
have done
course.
that, this should
Yeah.
have been like this. So with you being somebody who I can honestly say, anytime I go to your page and look, you're gonna have something TMNT to show. You
Yeah.
know, whether it's earrings, tattoo, shirt, jacket, hat, button, shoes, sock, whatever. You got some TMNT posters, whatever. You got it.
Yep.
So it's like I asked you that because you sharing what you like with everybody. So it's like, okay, I know I can get a totally unbiased answer from you. You know, I look at it on both sides type of answer. But that passion though still make you say they didn't do that right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like that about the third TMNT live action movie. It makes me cringe, but I know people who love it. And you know what? To me, at the end of the day, if it brings more people to TMNT, if it brings them to look at the comic book, to look at what else has been done, then it's doing us all a favor, right? Like
Yes, ma'am.
if somebody else loves it and it brings them to TMNT, fantastic. So I personally hate that third movie. I think it's horrific.
Talking about the
But
one
when
where they
people
went
say they
back
love
in
it,
time.
yeah, I hate
Okay.
that. But when people tell me they love it, I'm not going to tell them they're wrong and my what I like is better than theirs because it hit things that resonate with them. It doesn't resonate with me, but it's still turtles and we're both still turtle fans. So
Right.
I am not going to crap on your movie, but if you ask me what I personally think about it, I have words. I have words.
Okay. Uh, Dakin Howlett has a good question for you. He says, "Yo, lady, if you had to compare each turtle to another comic book character, who would they be?"
Oh my God. That's a really good question. Um, I think I'd probably have to look at the Teen Titans to do that. I would probably make Leonardo Robin because he has that need to prove himself, be the leader of the group. Um, and are these good comparisons? No, I could probably think of a better one when we end this. But That's where I'm going to sit with that.
I like that
I
though.
had to think about who Johnny would be. Probably something like Cyborg. Um,
Mm,
this is where it's tough. I'm like, this is not going to make a lot of sense. Um,
mm,
but I
mm.
see like the fun-loving attitude that Michelangelo has in Beast Boy, for sure. Um, and if you had to ask me, then who's Robin? Not Robin. Who's Raph? Oh God, I don't know. I don't know.
Wolverine? Could he be Wolverine?
He could be Wolverine for sure. That's definitely the anger's there for sure. The hot-headedness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I had to think of like a group together, I'd have to look at the Teen Titans. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense because again, we're looking at group dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Instead of individually. I'm still gonna get a lot of hate mail on that one and be like, "How could you say that?" So please, nobody take this to heart. You're allowed to see it any way you want.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I definitely am dope with it. You know what I'm saying? I like how that. I like that. OG Green said Ralph equals Rafe. You see,
that
Ray. He said Ray.
that would work.
That would
That would
work.
totally
That would
work.
work. That would
Yep,
work.
moody, often stomps off. Yep.
Red Hood. I see Red Hood down there. Ralph could be Red Hood. So Ralph is actually the easiest one to actually pick because all you need is somebody that don't care, gonna do what they want to do. You say no, I'm gonna say yeah. You say yeah, I'm gonna say no, and then just walk off. I don't care what you're saying. Like Ralph
Yep.
is a
But that's
okay.
because he cares so deeply. That's where I think we misunderstand Raph. It's because he cares so much
Okay.
that he can't stand it sometimes. Like,
Okay. I got two good questions right here for you. I'm trying to pick which one I want to go with. I'm gonna go with this one first. Um, it's been over a decade since a turtle movie has been completely animated.
yes.
Uh, this one coming at 2023 will be the first ever theatrical production by Nickelodeon Animated Productions as well. Um, so as a true fan, you know what I'm saying, would this make this totally awesome? Like, are we gonna get a TMNT that's, you know what I mean? Like, if the wish is we're gonna get a TMT that we really want to see.
I hope so.
Hope so.
Um, I don't know if we will just because historically we haven't got exactly what we wanted. I'll say that because in the second movie, The Secret of the Ooze,
Mm-hmm.
parental complaints made it so that they suddenly couldn't use their weapons. Like you'll see them use sausage legs, but they don't actually pull out
I
weapons or
didn't
use.
know that.
Yeah, so a lot of fans were like, wow, I'm going to see ninjas who don't use their weapons. Um, but it's still a great movie. So, I mean, I guess it depends what your expectations are. What do you want out of this movie? Do you want it to be dark? Do you want it to be lighthearted? What do you want? Like, I think the TMNT versus Batman was a fantastic movie. I
Mm-hmm.
wish they'd make that a live movie. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that's me personally. So, I mean, some people might be hoping for something along the lines of The Last Ronin, but I think it's called Mutant Mayhem, right?
Right.
And it looks very bright and punchy from what I've seen. It looks like the graffiti scene. So, are we going to get loud and goofy with some of the city grit? I don't know. I have no clue what we're getting.
Mm.
So I think it depends what's your wish list for this movie. And what if they
Okay.
put out this one and
Mm-hmm.
it's more family friendly and in the future we do get something darker that will match up
Mm-hmm.
with the last Ronin. I don't know.
Okay.
It's so hard when that's all I know about this movie and I'm all in though. I will go, I will spend my money, I will get the merch. I'm
Yeah,
all
I
in.
already know.
Let's see what happens.
So, so help me understand something before we got two questions for you also waiting on you. But help me understand something. So when it, TMC fans, when they talk about the movies and the shows, like on a just like just a straight up ABC type of thing, what is it that TMNT fans really want when it's time for Hollywood to get their hands on TMNT?
I think we all want the characters to ring true. We all want them properly represented. Like we want in the first 5 minutes to go, yeah, that is something Raph would say, or oh gosh, yeah, that's so classic Donatello. You know, like I think that's what we're looking for. I think we're looking for what really makes sense, what brings us back to those stories. We're looking for that connection as brothers. We're looking for the connection as family. We're looking at their place in the world because they're always kind of outcasts. We all want to see the really cool ninjutsu moves, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be some kind of animosity towards a big bad. Like if the big bad is not scary, like if they show us a shredder that has a very snivelly voice and he's not very intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be very impressed. Again, like Secret of the Ooze, Shredder comes on and his helmet's too big, so it keeps moving. It's kind of comical, and he holds this giant dandelion. So that was just a little ridiculous, right? So it made him less of a scary guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what we want. We really want to believe in the fact that he's a threat, or whoever the bad guy is a real threat. And we
Okay.
want to see the turtles work together to take this down.
Okay. Okay. Now I have got three questions for you because they've been waiting. 'Cause I seen it's my bad, H. John 32, because he done asked this twice. So let me get him
Oh,
first. He
okay.
said, in the future, could we see a combination between Star Wars and TMNT?
Why the heck not? I mean, they go into space. What if they do run into Jedis? What
You know
if
what I
they have
mean?
to defend Earth or some other planet against the Krang and the Jedis join them? I mean, Leonardo already wields a katana. I'm totally okay with him wielding a lightsaber. Why the heck not?
You know what I'm saying? Did you see
I'm very
Michelangelo?
open-minded, open world about these things. Like, if we can have TMNT meeting up with Batman, sure.
Why not?
I mean,
You
and
know
then
what
I
I'm
could
saying?
see Raph being tempted to go to the dark side. That would be a good storyline there, right? Where we have, everybody being a Jedi except Raph being like, well, they make a compelling
Hmm.
point.
Okay. Good,
Yeah.
good, good. Okay. Okay. Hope y'all listening. Uh 605 Brims wants to know, what do you think of the TMNT Power Rangers miniseries?
Okay, everything I know about that is through my 6-year-old. So I'm not super educated there, but he thinks it kicks ass. So I'm
Okay.
going to say, again, why not? They have similar fighting styles. The Power Rangers fought some interesting monsters that totally would make sense. I think it's a good match.
Okay.
I could
Cool.
see them being drinking buddies, if they weren't all teenagers.
Ah, good point. Yeah,
I'm
because
not
they are.
encouraging teenagers to drink, but, when they grow up, they'd be good drinking buddies.
That's the thing. They are, because they are teenage. Because between all the movies we've seen, they
Yep.
are still in teenage form, right?
They are, except like when we get to Last Ronin, right? We don't really have a lot of them being like
Yes.
35-year-olds.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I already asked you that. That's one we answered earlier. So let's get past TMNT and get into something else. I wanted to ask you, which I didn't get a chance to ask you last time, and I know some of my common dude buddies will be interested in hearing this. What's your take on some of the other movies and shows that have came out so far this year?
Anything?
Yeah, anything,
Anything at all?
anything,
I
anything.
just watched She-Hulk.
Okay.
I really enjoy that because, again, we have here the reluctant hero. She'd really rather just be a lawyer. And then her hand is forced during a trial to act as a hero. And I always think that's an interesting narrative to explore. Like, what happens if you have to wake up and be a hero? It's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I'll save the world today.
Mhm.
you know, um, I think it's an interesting thing to see, like, how somebody adjusts to that, because again, it wasn't really a choice. So I do really like that one. I love the Sandman,
Okay.
based on the Neil Gaiman comics, right? I
Okay.
thought that was really beautifully done. They did some gender swapping and things in the actual television show that I think really worked.
Mm.
I love that it's bringing a whole bunch of people back to his books. I love that it's making people look up mythology. I love that it's
Mm.
inspiring people to write because he wrote about this crazy world of dreams. I think the imagery is really strong. I think it's beautiful. And I love that it's bringing a whole bunch of people to write into comic books. explore their imagination.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Oh,
sitcoms are wonderful. I'm not trashing shows like Friends or anything like that, but
yeah.
it's a different thing, right? This works with your imagination and it makes you think about the incredible and the fantastic. And I love that it's doing that for audiences. And I
Okay.
also really like Stranger Things for the same thing. Like it's, you
Yeah. A
know,
lot of people.
rooted in our reality, but it's supernatural. And my 8-year-old absolutely loves it. And I might be a bad mother for letting an 8-year-old watch that, but it also got her talking about playing Dungeons and Dragons because we have
Okay.
Mind Flayer in there. We have all of these, supernatural things, and I think it's fascinating that one of the characters plays D&D, and then she was like, "Hey, mom, can we play?" And of course we can play. We're well equipped to play. I'd love to play.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yeah. You love your D&D. I definitely know that.
yes, I do.
Uh,
But
you
it's funny
already
that Stranger Things made my kids say, "Hey, I want to play."
now. Cause when me being the saying podcaster, and I always try to check out other folks' shows, and I see a lot of opinionated and unopinionated. Some people just drop the facts. You know what I mean? Whatever, however they do. But I watch a lot of shows that discuss the shows that are dropping, coming out, some of the past shows, some of the future shows. And like I said, I noticed, going through your profile and stuff and catching up with you that, you keep up pretty good with, very well with a lot of the stuff that's going on. At the same
Some
time, you
of
still do your D&D, most, okay, some of it, most of, you know what I
I'm
mean?
really bad with shows, but when I have people who hang out with me and they sit and let me watch things, it's good. Like I just watched some Miss Marvel too, and I
Mm.
have to say I love that we saw a Muslim family on TV.
Now, that's my main reason for liking that show.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
I
it's
was
really cool. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, because and for me to agree with you, seeing how they live, how they do, how they dress, and like they dress like it's now. Like you might have one with the thing across their face, but they might have some jeans on. You might
Oh
have
yeah,
somebody fully dressed like they supposed to be with the rap, or older lady or older gentleman. However they do. Take the shoes off when they go in the place to pray and stuff. So it's like seeing that, and for the viewers that just say, "Oh man, wasn't enough action" or whatever. It's like that kind of gets under my skin because it's like every show don't have to start with a building blowing up. Like I like
no, and
dialogue.
for her to be a superhero was difficult, also because you already realize what her family expects of her, and immediately they make it clear that her brother is allowed to do it, she's not. And I don't think you have to be Muslim to get this, but some
Mhm.
backgrounds you do have very strict parents. I did, and it was like that.
Mhm.
So I immediately she was a superhero after my own heart. Whereas
Okay.
like you're begging to go to a party and they won't let you, or they'll go, let you go if your dad goes. I've been there. I get it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, so I thought it was a good cultural window, and it was something I could understand. Whereas, if I watch like this is so dated, but if I watch something like Dawson's Creek, these kids were not like I grew up. I was like, I have no cultural understanding of you.
Yes.
Zero. Where your
I.
parents let you wander around this creek and do whatever the heck you want. Zero understanding of you.
I'm with you on that. OG got a question for you. He said, "Have you seen Mazes and Monsters by any chance?"
No, I haven't. What is that?
OG, let her know what that is, man. But I don't know what that is either. But it sounds like something that's fun to watch or something.
What
Something.
is that sorcery? I want to know. I want to watch it.
Drop it down there, OG. Let us know while I answer this next question right here. Do you have any new tats? Because I noticed you
No.
showed you had a
Oh,
check.
that's not true. I do. I do. I
Uh
got
huh.
a
Uh
Team
huh.
Rocket tattoo. That's not true. I got a good chunk of my leg covered with Team Rocket and some polka
Okay.
dot. Yep.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Now, do you got this posted anywhere?
It should be on my Instagram, but I'll put it in the
Okay.
picture after.
All right. You
Yeah.
on here and I'm gonna repost.
Yeah.
OG
Yeah.
said it's an old made for TV public panic movie about D&D addiction
Oh.
getting out of hand. Famous 80s score tactic. It stars Tom Hanks.
I would love to see that. Thank you for the suggestion. I will check that out.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
love to
Thank you
do
for that,
that.
OG. Thank you, OG, my brother.
And I'll say if you guys do love D&D, they have a documentary I just watched called Eye of the Beholder. It talks about the art of D&D, just like the fantasy genre art. Because usually when we think about fantasy art, it kind of originates from Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
They started a whole. They weren't the first ones to create it; it just became mainstream with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was a really great documentary.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what's the name of it?
Eye of the Beholder,
Eye
the
of the
art of
Beholder.
D&D. Yeah, because they have that monster called the Beholder. Um, so, haha, really cute name.
Beholder. Like I or like I.
Like an eye.
Oh, IYE.
Yeah,
EYIYE. You hear me?
I knew
EYE.
what
I'm
you
sorry.
meant.
My bad. Dyslexia. Nah, I don't even know what that means. Dyslexia. Everybody say that. Dyslexic. I ain't dyslexic. I don't know
You
what I
still,
am.
everybody knew what you meant.
uh, so okay. Still a kid at heart.
Heck yeah.
Being somebody who raised kids, how can you explain that?
I think sometimes they need to tell me to be the adult. That's for sure. But I'm enjoying it because I get to live part of their childhood with them, and I can do that either standing very far back or I can jump into it with them. So yeah, sometimes I obviously have to be the parent and have to stand back, but I'm having a lot of fun having kids, to be honest with you. I didn't know I would like it so much. And then I had my first daughter, and I dressed her up as characters all the time. She had every Disney princess dress you can imagine. I
Hmm.
dressed her up in so many weird outfits, that poor kid. Um, but it started with her, and now I just did a TMNT room for my son. Like, he loves Ninja Turtles too. So I probably spent more money than I did and wasn't a responsible parent.
Uh
Um,
huh.
but we had a lot of fun putting together his room. So
Yes.
it's a balance. Sometimes I have to make sure they don't kill themselves by doing ridiculous things. And sometimes I can say, you know what, it's a great idea. Let's just sit in bed and watch cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I can definitely agree with you because like a lot of people, I always tell my friends and stuff like whenever that type of conversation comes about, it's like
Yeah.
I still feel like the same person I was when I was turning on the little TV sitting on top of the washer at my grandma's house. I still feel
Uh-huh.
like the same person that grew up a little bit and started watching Howard the Duck and Police Academy and the first
Oh my
RoboCop.
God, Police Academy.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Beverly Hills Cop and all that.
Yes.
Like, and then I started growing on up, and you know what I'm saying? I got into watching a lot of hip hop, and I got my hip hop. That stayed
Yep.
with me. Sports, school. Like the older I got, junior, sophomore, junior, senior. Like, but I still feel like the same cookie. Like I still feel like how some people can be so playful in school and then you don't see them for a while. Everybody graduating. When you see them now, they're like, "What two, 1 2, 1 2? I ain't got time to talk. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that." You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like they whole like maybe something happened in their life where they changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I've had people in the past, very super important people. Um, you know, getting in trouble with the law. Bad times. You know,
Yep.
fast times at Ridgemont High. You know what I'm saying? Type of and
Yep.
then became a father and jobs, dealing with jobs, seeing the poly, even racism mess, going through relationships, but I still feel like the same guy, the same heart, the same soul. Like I don't feel, you know what I mean? Like I
I
feel like if I
do.
won $1 million, I'd probably give away more than I spend because I'm the same guy. But
Oh, that's lovely.
you know what I mean? But but I guess that's why a lot of us can't be millionaires, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Not saying we can't, we just don't get the chance or see the chance when it's there because we
Right.
so, stuck on what we're doing. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, I relate to you on that and Do you still feel like you the same? Like even when you had the kids and dealt with
Yes,
stuff, you still feel like the same lady.
I do, and I always have to remind myself, oh yeah, if we, I'm the one who lives here. So it's still always kind of a shock, like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh, I forgot. I mean, I don't mean I don't feed my kids, but I'm like, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to let me be in charge, but I am.
So, you know what I mean? And that right there related to the one of your TikTok video about the childish and collecting. That relates to that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, because what you love is what you love, and if it make you happy, like when I get sad, I like to buy a hat. You know, I like to buy myself something when I'm sad because you have to treat. That's one thing in your life that you can control
Yes,
your happiness. Like you can't control
absolutely.
mine, I can't control yours, but separately, I like podcasting, this make me happy. You know, like I love doing this. You know what I'm saying? Uh just like buying a hat, like I love it. So, and I noticed that you, like I said, when you be in the Funko Pops, and I remember that one video, it's like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, and I'm
But I'm
thinking to
gonna get
myself,
it.
she gonna get it. She gonna get it. I don't know why she doing it, cause she knows she gonna get it. You know what I mean? So, still a kid at heart. You know what I mean? Like I definitely feel you on that and can relate.
Well,
Also,
even my kids' school supplies. One of them got a whole bunch of Legend of Zelda stuff. I got a lunch kit that looks like Link Shield. So I was being
what?
responsible. I bought like stuff for school. I just did it the fun way.
Yeah, of course. I saw you with the bags and all that. I saw you. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, she's some fun going shopping with her.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if I have to do the adult stuff, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do it the fun way.
yeah. It makes it more. It makes time. It makes you enjoy the time, which makes time go by faster.
Oh
When
yeah, and I
you're
only have
enjoying
one chance.
time,
I've got
man,
this one shot to embarrass my kids as much as I can. I'm taking it.
you taking it. Yeah, I feel you on that. I be doing my daughter the same way. Daddy, you so lame. You crazy. I'm one of the coolest people on the block. You better get with it. You don't know who your pops is. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
For
Yep.
real. You
Yeah.
know, so H. John had another question for you. He said, what current anime shows is your favorite to watch so far?
Okay, I'm very behind on anime. The most recent one I watched, and I'm going to butcher it, is they re-released a Sailor Moon, and I have not finished it. So I've been very bad.
Hmm.
Um, so you know what? If you want to throw your favorite ones up, let me know. I could use some suggestions. I'm
Black,
going to be
he's got
watching
one.
my favorites, and I haven't discovered anything new in a little while.
Oh, here you go. He on top of it. Dragon Ball Z and Black Clover.
Oh, I love Dragon Ball Z. Yeah,
Yes.
that was great.
Now, I
And
don't know
then,
about
yeah,
Black
I
Clover.
love that Laura Bailey is one of the voice actors, and then she's also a Dungeons and Dragons player
Oh.
on Critical Role. So whenever I see Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, that's Laura Bailey. Woohoo!
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Let's reverse back to TMNT. You
Yeah.
were Epic Tales from the Sewer.
Yep.
That was a podcast you were on where you got to
Yes.
talk about the best of April O'Neil.
I did. That was super fun. Yeah.
So, um, just to chip at the ice on that a little bit, what are some of the best of April O'Neil type things that you talked about on there?
Well, they went through the issue, the best of April O'Neil. I'll see if
Okay,
I have it
okay.
here. I don't. It looks like this,
Ah,
although this is obviously Casey Jones.
I got
They
that
have the
one.
April O'Neil one, and they basically spliced together. I'm just having a look if it's actually sitting here. Yes, it is. Um, so it's this one that we're talking about.
Mm.
And we flip through it, and it goes through her beginning. So when we're first introduced to April, and that's when she's programming these mousers, and she realizes that Baxter Stockman is actually using them to take down parts of the city and terrorize it. And we talked a lot about how she started as a strong female character immediately. She's basically a computer programmer. She's going up against her boss and risks her life. We're saying you can't do that. You can't just destroy the city. We look at in it. It has other confrontations she has with Baxter Stockman. I think it ends with one of them. Um, I think another thing I could highlight is how she asks Casey for defense lessons at one point. Um, so definitely didn't want to kind of sit back and do nothing. Another point she infiltrates the lab where she's working to steal some things, get more intel.
Mm-hmm.
She does it all by herself. So the turtles don't help her through this. And she does use some of the defense lessons she learned from Casey, some of the advice she got throughout that. It's kind of like a dungeon crawl where, she goes in, she's going to run into a lot of big bad guys, and is she going to get out of it? So she
Okay.
does, and it's very impressive because she doesn't have any ninjutsu training. She doesn't wield a hockey stick. Her whole thing is that she's smart, and she does think her way through this. She makes some good decisions and thinks her way through it. So I think that's what it really highlights is what kind of character is April, what kind of female character is April. And I think what we see is that she's resilient, she's bright, and that she, at the end of the day, does take certain things into her own hands. So I think it's a really
Okay.
good issue. It does highlight
Yeah.
why we love her.
But that's I missed getting that issue right there. Because I didn't notice it until I want to say I think it was Michelangelo's cover where it's just him
Yeah.
with the orange back, and I was
Well,
like,
I'll make you a
oh,
deal. I have two. Send me your Addy. I'll send you my extra one.
for real?
Yeah.
Ah, see what I'm saying? Good-hearted people everywhere you turn. I like, okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, okay. That's what's up. Thank you, thank you. That's
No
cool right
problem.
there.
I do
All right,
have two, so
all right,
very happy to
okay.
send one to you.
Deal. All right. What other comic series do you collect? Let's get into that right quick.
Okay. There is this one by Jim Henson called Storyteller. I love it
Mm-hmm.
because it does talk about multiple different gods. So they were looking at, I'm going to mispronounce his name. Neil Gaiman also wrote about him, but there's a trickster god called Anansi.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that I'm totally butchering his name. But they had a really good piece on him and how he tricked other gods into things. I love that. I love that it explores mythology from all around the world. And
Mm-hmm.
it's in the format we all know. Like the Storyteller was this Jim Henson show, or it was this old man and his dog, and they told a story. So they were very cool ones. Like one of them was about a soldier who was evading death. And it had this was a kids show, and it had goblins, not goblins, demons that were drinking and smoking. It was fantastic. I love that about it.
Wow, I didn't know
you
that.
know, they were trying to evade death. It was pretty scary. But the comic book version of this is, I mean, you could let kids read it, but there's stuff in there for adults, and the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I think it's way underrated and absolutely gorgeous. And then I love the lab. Again, it's Jim Henson, so the Dark Crystal Labyrinth. I collect those. I love them. I think they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I collect the Harley Quinn ones
Mm-hmm.
because I'm invested at this point in seeing what happens to Harley and her
Yes.
future. There are the Dungeons and Dragons based ones, so the show Critical Role. So their first campaign was Vox Machina. So they have the Vox Machina comic books. Again, I absolutely love them. And there's a horror series I love called The Last Book You'll Ever Read. And
Mm.
I really like it. It's creepy and wonderful, and there's a whole bunch of other ones I'm dying to get into that I just haven't bought yet. But those are the ones I've been into lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to jump right into this. We ain't got to stand too long, but you have your animal love. You got a dog too. You got your
I have
dog
two
too.
dogs, yeah.
You got two dogs. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
one of them named
And
after She-Ra, yeah.
okay, and how you know what I'm saying? Like I had to relearn because I'm a country boy. You know what I'm saying? I moved to the city, which is still Alabama's always known. You know, we south. You know, down the south. So, but you know, I moved to the city and kind of forgot my growing up with the farm animals life for until I got back with my sister.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, from Lord Thursday. Much love to you, the man. And also, John, I see your question too. I'm gonna come right to it. Once I got back with my sister, and she gave me the dog, gave me Bella, which I call
She's
her
so
Fuzzy Booty.
cute. Oh my
You know
god.
what I'm saying? I call her Fuzzy Booty because she just so fuzzy. You know what I mean? And she just a little fat little chunk just walking around. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you know, being asleep and she jumping up and down, pushing me to wake me up, staring at me all the time. You
Yeah,
know,
they're
following me.
creepy.
You know what I mean? Follow me around.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, yo, I was like, I had to re-educate myself. I had to get back into it, and it's like having my little buddy around. You know, it helps me from not being sad, or when I'm mad about something, I don't hold it long because all my attention now is like boom, you know what I'm saying? And then you
Yeah.
looking at the little dog that's happy to see you all the time. It ain't gonna tell you no lie. It ain't gonna drive off in your car. It ain't gonna steal from you. It ain't gonna leave the toilet seat up or down or something around it.
Well, and I like that they're therapists, but they don't charge you. So I can sit there for an
Yeah,
hour and tell my dog my problems, but there's no bill at the end of it. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, that connection that you have with your animals, you know what I'm saying? I know you recently had a turtle that passed a little while back, you know
I
what I'm
did.
saying? And I want to definitely now to tell you condolences on that, you know what I'm saying, that you lost your little animal, but you didn't, but you know,
Yeah,
you showed the love though, and that's the most important thing. Like you'll be blessed
yeah.
for that. You know what I mean? Um, but I want to just touch on that subject for just a little quaalude, you know what I mean? Uh, Back to your Funko. So what's your favorite Funko Pop right now that you have in your
Um,
collection?
it's the really giant Mikey holding donuts.
That's dope. That was
Um,
dope.
yeah, I love that one. And then I'll see if I can pull the other one out. Sorry, I am just checking here if I can reach it. Yes, he's there.
I see your H. Jones. I got your H. Jones.
So these are from the show Vox Machina, or the podcast originally. So this is Bexalia, and this is her bear trinket.
Hmm.
So I love those two. I don't know why. I
You
just
got
love
that in
them.
the you got that one in a collector case thing, don't you?
I
Keep
do.
them from
It's
getting.
snazzy, huh? It's the only one.
Okay. Keep them. Now that actually what protects us, like just mostly for protection of the box so it don't get smashed and stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh, and before I ask you this one, I'm gonna get to John because I don't want to think I'm ignoring. Have you read Dark Knight's Metal, and what was your opinion on the Batman Who Laughs character?
You know what? I have not.
Okay.
It was my opinion on Batman Who Laughs character. I don't know. I don't want to lie. Can I get back to you on that one? How about I
Yes.
read it and then get back to you?
Yes. But now you know what I'm saying, no spoilers, but that Dark Knight's Metal and the Batman Who Laughs last character, they are pretty extreme.
Are they? Well,
Yes, very.
Batman's always pretty extreme if you think about it, right? Like it was never very tame. So
Yeah, they under a lot of like I just this as far as a spoiler, he causes almost the ultimate turmoil. So it's like, yo, you know, Superman looking like, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? One of them type of moments. And Superman got to look at you and say, what we gonna do? You need some serious going on. You know what I
that's
mean?
not good.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You don't get okay, but you know, what's your favorite comic that you have collected so far right now?
Oh, okay. My favorite one I have, it's not expensive, it's not fancy. I found a Sailor Moon comic at a thrift sale.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that.
yeah, I just love the art on that. It's not even a TMNT one. That is my favorite one because I just love the cover, and it was such a happy thing to discover. I was
Yes.
having a very bad day, and this came out of nowhere, and I don't own any other ones. Shockingly, I own no Sailor Moon comics. Um,
Mm,
so I felt like it just landed in my lap, and it was very inexpensive, and I was super excited, and I still think it's just beautiful.
okay, cool. Um, Now, to Harley, the one question I wanted to ask you, what is it that you love about Harley, and are they taking the direction of her character the right
Ooh,
way? Is she misunderstood? You know what I'm saying? Within the last 5 or 10 years, you know, we've seen the birds of prey and, you know, the
Yes.
side roles in certain movies that came out, Big Banger movies, whatever. We seen the cartoon animation, and the comics that came out, the stuff within Pride Month that came out, because I didn't know that her and Poison Ivy had a relationship like that.
Yep.
So take all that and put it in this right here. Now I'm gonna
Oh my
ask you.
goodness.
So now that's why I ask you. Um, Number one, what is it about her that you like so much? And number two, are they processing her character right in your eyes, or is she being misunderstood in your eyes?
I think that I love her because she's chaos incarnate. So we talk about problems in the world, we talk about female suppression. There's none of that with her. She's just gonna literally blow shit up, right?
Right.
And I think that's why some women really like her because I don't want to glorify being crazy and being violent, but she gets to do a lot of the shit that we don't get to do or that is acceptable to do. So we have, like, as an alter ego, we have Wonder Woman who's very good and will, she's a good partner. She'll team up with people and help save the world. Here, Harley does whatever the hell she wants to do, whatever is a whim for her.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a little bit more focused when she's with Poison Ivy, but again, Poison Ivy is basically an eco-terrorist.
Right.
But when you sit and you think about it, and again, I'm not saying please be eco-terrorists, it's a good thing. But she's not wrong. We are destroying the planet. And I don't think Harley's entirely wrong either. Like, she was under the Joker's thumb. She's no longer under his thumb. She basically wants an equal share of chaos. And I don't know if you've seen the Harley Quinn cartoon, but I think it was really great. And at one point there was graffiti and it was something like a penis. And she's like, why don't we ever graffiti vaginas? And
I think that come out earlier this year.
I think last year. I think they have a new season this year.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, again, I don't want to make a comic book always more serious than it is, but it is a social commentary. And I think a lot of us in relationships, I know I personally, I'm getting divorced. So it made sense to me in a lot of ways. And I think she's well represented. I like Margot Robbie's portrayal of her very much, where, a lot of people are silly, undisciplined, chaotic, crazy. But a lot of the time you kind of go, was she wrong there? I don't know that she was. Just like with Poison Ivy, eco-terrorism, but is she wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she's wrong. We are destroying the world, and there are climate change deniers, and okay, maybe we shouldn't kill them, but like it's a safe place to do extreme things in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is incredibly extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think it hits home for some of us.
Okay.
And I think when we talk about, I don't want to be too political, but when we talk about bodies and we talk about men, I think it's interesting that they found safety in a good relationship with one another.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's a very positive thing. I think that's fantastic. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And then you just helped me, you gave me an explanation that nobody has ever really ever told me like that, because they're so caught up on how she do and what she, like they're so caught up on her look and the things she
Yeah,
doing
and they
instead
love
of,
that she's crazy, but
yeah.
there, she's rebelling against all of the very rigid things in society.
Okay. Okay. Which is true. You're right. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Will I go
Uh,
blow up a chemical factory and adopt a hyena named Bruce? No. But do I appreciate that she did that and got some of that energy out for me? Yes.
yeah. And it also shows how brave she got a lot of bravery. Her
She does.
bravery meter is because ain't too many people you gonna seeing sitting up next to a hyena. You know what I
No, and even
mean?
just the confidence level.
You know what I
She doesn't
mean?
really question, can she do something? She'll just try it. She'll
Just try
smash
it.
it. Let's see.
Yeah. And do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. So when people call us childish, what would your response be to that, Miss Liddy?
Better to be childish than beige. No, the response to that is you only have one life to live. Why not milk the living hell out of it? Like, if my life is lived like this, it's not yours. You don't have to live it. You can go sell pencils if that makes you happy.
Cool, cool, and that's it in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah.
And before we get into the bonus round,
Uh-oh.
I got one for you. The CBFC. You always have good things about them, and you always, posting and showing. You
Yep.
go on your picture, you have slide it. There you go, right there. You always gonna represent, except for your team. So, what are some positive things that you can say about that could interest people to checking out
Well,
CBFC?
it's, how we talk about community, whether you're a writer, whether you're an artist. I'm sure even if you're an accountant, there's a community for you. But this is a community for like-minded people, so people who love comic books. And it doesn't mean you have to have the most expensive collection. It doesn't mean you have to be the most up-to-date. It's just about sharing what you love. And that's what I greatly enjoy about it, is that I've come to see certain members, posting what they love, and you recognize, oh, that person also loves Sabrina comics, or that person also loves Dungeons and Dragons. And it's just a great way to meet like-minded people. There are community standards to being a comic book theme club member, so that is nice. That it doesn't promote bullying among members. Typically, it's you have to earn your membership. So that means you have to take some time to actually get to know the other members, and they get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it encourages. It encourages discussion, it encourages sharing ideas. Right now, a bunch of members of the Canadian chapter are at a fan expo, and they are sharing pictures. One of them, you can check her out on Instagram. Her name is Bat Gem.
Okay.
Jen has dressed up in different cosplays almost every single day. The recent one has been Punchline, and she did an amazing job. So see, I'm getting excited about it, talking about it, but that's, we share this within chapter members, and I am so happy to be part of it, and that's why I'm proud of it. That, we are a positive comic book club that's international, and I think that I've had great interactions with everybody.
Cool. Also, that person you talking about, I think I sent them a follow, because I found them on your TikTok, because she the lady, she got the accent, right?
I don't know. I don't think Jen. Jen's Canadian, so I don't know.
So it's that's
so,
okay.
Other people say yes, we have accents. To me, we don't have accents. I don't
Okay.
know.
Sorry, my bad.
It's Bat Jen, so BAT_Jen, JEN.
Okay. My bad. Because I know I probably sound, really down southern, but I try my best.
Well, I think you sound lovely, but yeah, it's hard for me to say another Canadian has an accent. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
It's funny because one of my partners, a family that I'm cool with from Australia, I did an interview with them, and I said the word Adidas.
Oh, and they say Adidas.
Yeah,
right?
she said, "Oh, you mean Adidas?" And I said,
Adidas.
"Oh, that's how you say it. So is that how you say it too, Adidas, or do you say Adidas?"
I was corrected, so I don't know what to say. And the more I say, the cool shoes I don't own.
You know what? Just for giggles, just for laughs, is it caramel or caramel for you?
Caramel, isn't
Caramel. See.
Well, I don't know. I say lots of things very funny. Like even among Canadians, my boyfriend, I humor him sometimes the way I say things, because I came from Montreal, so I spoke Slovak as a first language, and French and English. My parents are immigrants. We say things differently. Even if I was born in Canada, I just have some expressions that are special.
Okay. Now, and one last question on that, like, do Canadians have like a certain language that they speak that only Canadians know? You know what I mean? Like, you know how like Like, for instance, like, like Spanish and the Mexicans, they
Yeah.
can talk Spanish. Like, is there a Canadian language that you like somebody like me would have to look in the book and learn, or is it just got to do with the accent?
Um, I there's expressions that I didn't know because I came from Montreal and we speak French, right? We
Okay,
speak
there
French
you
and
go.
English, so and our French is different from France, so it's very
Really?
yeah, it's we could understand each other, but if you're from Quebec, your French is different from those in France.
Okay.
And then across Canada, there's just different versions of things. Like when I moved to Alberta, they laughed at some of the things I said, and I had no idea what they meant when they said certain things. So I guess those are colloquialisms.
Okay. Colloquialisms. Okay,
Yeah,
I
or
like
if
that
you go
one.
to New Brunswick or you go to Nova Scotia or Newfoundland in
Mm,
Canada, they say things.
okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense because, like, even though we are down south, you know, people in Mississippi don't talk or sound like people in Alabama do, or
Yeah.
Tennessee, or Georgia, or especially Florida. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
have friends from Virginia. They have their
Yep.
own things. So yes, yes.
And what's crazy to me is that like places like North Carolina and Virginia, they almost are looked at as the East Coast.
Yeah, and I have family there. I have family in New Orleans. I have family in North Carolina. Um, so yeah, you're all the United States, but it's
Ain't that
different.
something? Ain't that something? That's something, ain't it? You know what I mean?
It is.
So, okay, so we done broke down TMNT, we done broke down CBFC, we done broke down the womanhood, we done broke down the mamaisms, we done talked about pop culture, Funko Pops, we done talked about all type of stuff. So now, and I've held you for a pretty good while, and I want to thank you for that. And I hope I ain't held you
Thank you
too
for having
long.
me.
So yes, ma'am. So we're gonna get into this quick bonus round right quick where I ask you two things. You pick one. Chat room, please, y'all play along too. You know what I'm saying? I tried to put these under strictly liddy subjects, okay? So
Oh,
we're going with liddy subjects today, all right? So here we go. First one should be easy one for you. Harley or Poison Ivy?
Harley. It's a tough one though. It's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this one right here, I was like, I'm gonna try it. I said maybe I shouldn't have separated these two because they're in the same title. But let's see what she say. Dungeons or Dragons?
Dragons.
Dragons. Okay.
100%. I play
100%.
it I play it more for like the encounters than I do the adventuring and looking for treasure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do this. All right. Um, going to the movie theater or watching movies at home?
Mm, that's tough. It depends who I'm doing it with.
Okay. 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 All right. Uh, comedy or horror?
Horror. Yeah.
Mystery or action thriller?
Mystery.
Mystery. Okay. Huh. Huh. Geeks or nerds?
Geeks.
Nerds? God. Marvel or DC?
IDW?
And then now that works. If that's what you want, that works. Okay. IDW. Okay. Scooby or Garfield?
Oh, neither. Neither.
What?
Neither. Okay, if I had to,
Um.
Scooby, because he solves mysteries, sort of.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
have?
it was always some creepy white guy in a mask. So
Okay. Uh. I can
yeah,
hear
I
with the
just said
laugh.
that, didn't I?
Uh, I can hear with the laugh. Yeah, okay. Uh. Power Rangers or Voltron?
Voltron.
Voltron. I
Can I
kind of thought
offer another one? Gundam Wing.
Gundam Wing. Okay. Gundam.
Yeah.
Gundam. Got you. All right. The Peanut Gang or the Smurfs?
Oh my god. Uh,
Yeah, I had to take you back on that one.
The Peanut Gang.
Peanut Gang.
Peanut
Okay.
Gang.
I like
Yeah.
the Peanut Gang too. I like Timber. I like the all. My favorite was always the little dirty dude because his little dirty car would never
Pinkman.
go nowhere.
I think the Smurfs are a patriarchy. You know, they only have one Smurfette. There's something really not okay there.
Something really
So,
not okay with that. Yeah, I'm
no, down with the
good one.
patriarchy. Down with Papa Smurf.
Good one. And Gargamel wore a dress all the time.
It's a robe. It's a robe. He was a
Oh, it was a
wizard.
robe. Okay, it was a robe. My bad. I apologize, Gargamel. I apologize. I apologize, Gargamel. Muttley. What was his sidekick? Was it Muttley?
It was
No,
a
not
cat
Muttley.
named Azrael.
Ezreal. That's right.
Yeah.
Always getting into stuff. I
Yeah.
think about Muttley. I'm sorry. Okay. Super Shredder or Krang Prime?
Super Shredder.
Super Shredder. Baxter or the Fugitoid?
The future toy.
The Fugitoid. Ta, ta, ta,
Love
ta.
him.
Casey J or Splinter?
KCJ, just because who didn't have a crush on him?
The man. Casey
Yeah.
J. All right.
Yeah.
Bebop or Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. Star Trek or Star Wars?
I think they're mutually compatible. You can't make me pick one.
Okay, that's cool. Now that's that first time I got that one. Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna put a asterisk by that, but that was a good one. You gonna make me? That's a good one. Venus or Janika?
Jenica. Yeah.
Jenica, gotcha. Jenica.
I like the way you say it,
Uh,
but don't change it because of me.
I know, but when you say it, like if I say Jenica and then you say Jenica, then I feel like I said it wrong. But
I feel like mine is very flat. Yours has more personality to it.
okay,
So I
all
like
right.
it.
All right. Plus, it seemed like one of my cousins' name. You know what I mean? Janika. It seems like I got a cousin named Janika. You know what I mean? But
See, it rolls
anyway,
off your tongue so nicely. So please
thank
don't
you.
ever change that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I got you. All right. Okay. Batman vs TMT or the Rise of?
Batman.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
really good.
Okay. Out of the Shadows or Secret of the Ooze?
Ugh. That's a tough one because I prefer the way they look at Secret of the Ooze, but I like the story in Out of the Shadows. Out
I
of
do
the
too.
Shadows.
Okay. So out of the Shadows, out of what we going with?
That's what we're going with. I think it's a good
Okay.
story. I know a lot of people hate it, but I like it.
Okay. Shout out Dead Stock. What up, brother? Comic cons or comic shops?
Comic shops. Support local. Yay.
Support local. Support local. Yes. Um. Comics, comic books, or the novels?
Oh, comic books.
Comic books.
There's something about comic books that make you think about being, 8 years old and having a flashlight under your covers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In a good way. That could have sounded really bad.
No. Trust me, I know exactly what you mean. Reading or writing?
Reading because I think it teaches me to write better.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool, too. Cool answer. We almost at the end. Podcast or radio?
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here we go with the toughies. Leo or Donnie?
Donnie.
Mike or Ralph?
Mike.
Mike. I should have. I don't know why. I don't know why I asked you that one.
Yeah.
Kindness or honesty? Which one is more important to you?
Kindness.
Kindness. Would you mind telling me why?
Because sometimes admitting something is the kind thing to do. It's not necessarily the honest thing to do.
Okay. Would you rather have the ultimate confidence or the ultimate awareness?
Awareness, because then I think you're better able to understand other people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And last one, respect or loyalty? Which one is more important to you?
I think you earn respect. So I think respect.
Respect. Okay.
Yeah.
And because sometimes when I ask that question or when I see that question asked, people take it. They'll say you can't have one without the other. Then some flow towards the loyalty
Yeah.
because like okay, someone loyal to you, they ain't gonna disrespect you because they so loyal. But then it's like you gotta have the respect to be loyal to somebody. Like what I'm saying. Like you
You
gotta,
do.
you know what I
You
mean?
do. But
So
I'll reference TMNT. At one point, they have to stop being loyal to their father because he's lost their respect. So you're right. They go hand in hand.
okay,
I don't believe in blind loyalty.
okay, cool. I like that. That's a good way to put that. And that was Cooks 24 bonus round with
Woohoo!
Nitty, Miss Nitty, Channel 6 chick. I want to say thank you once again for giving me time to talk with you today. I didn't think that I would have you on this long, but
Oh no! And you put
luckily,
me in like a political hot seat. I'm like, oh my god, am I going to get all the pro-life people writing to me now? Oh
I
my
could.
god!
Hey, well, you know what?
You're welcome to.
If they come for you, they better come for me too, okay? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that like one thing about collectors and collections and stuff before we go, you're a person first, Miss Lady. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It ain't just about TMNT. Oh man, she get the TMNT stuff. I'm gonna go to her page. Like, be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, be cool. Be a supporter of what she do. You see, she got the CBFs. Go check that out. Go to their page and see what they got to offer. Like, go check out the TikToks and look at the stuff she
Oh
collecting.
yeah,
Like, get
for
ideas
sure.
from her. You know what I'm saying? And if you
Well,
have any questions, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know what I was going to say. And every time I do get somebody very angry at me, um, I usually donate to Planned Parenthood. So that's okay. You can send me hate mail. I will just donate $5 and donate to Planned Parenthood.
See you. I can tell. Good hearted person, Miss Lady. You definitely know your comic book knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You caught up on things that's going on around the world. That's why I wanted to ask you. I want this show this time to be different. You know what I'm saying? The last time, you know what I mean? Yeah, you was April O'Neil'd up. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't know who I was
I wore
talking
my
to.
TMNT shirt today.
Yeah, you
I
got your
did wear that. Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
a dope shirt too. I saw you had a picture of it up earlier because it's got the little
Yes, I
square. That's
did.
dope. So you know what I mean. I just want to, like I said, catch up with you. I know that you will. Like I said, I follow you tic tac. God, TikTok.
TikTok.
I follow your TikTok, and I
Yes.
always notice when you have something new that you collect.
Thank you. That you're so nice.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you as well. Like I said, so I know it'll probably be at the end of the year before I get in contact with you again, because that's
Please
enough
do though. It's
time.
always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's enough time for you to collect, 15 more, 20 more pops, and it's gonna be all kind of books dropping and all this, and who knows what type of new changes, great positive changes we both will
Who
make.
knows?
You know what I'm saying? So, congratulations on the relationship. You know what I'm saying? I seen
Thank you.
you.
I'll say hi, Bill. He
You know what
always
I'm
goes.
saying?
He can't believe
So,
I always do that, but I told him I would. Hi,
so,
Bill.
hey Bill, what's up, Bill? I'm Cook Bill. Nice to meet you, Bill. You know what I'm saying? Dollar bill, y'all. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, much love to you. Much love to your family. Much love to
You
the
too.
Canadian chapter. You know what I mean? I don't want to never get it right. CBFC. Much love to them. Much love to the little dragons. The little dragons do
Thank
what Mama
you.
Dragon say. You know what I'm saying?
Much
Be
love
little
to your
dragon.
family and your adorable dog.
Yes,
Like
ma'am. Thank
bring
you
the
so
dog
much.
back on. She's so cute.
I definitely will. I think they'd have made it back, but now I believe she's gonna be in there eat. She getting her grub on, and she's one of them little dogs too. Like when she smell food, she get real interested. So you know what I'm saying.
I do. I do. Yeah.
So other than that, Miss Lily, man, thank you so much for talking, uh, and doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, ma'am. You know what I'm saying. Putting out positive notes and everything, and when the movie drop and the new books come out, I'm gonna hit you up and say, "Hey, Miss Lily, check this out." Also,
Absolutely.
I don't know, are you into hip hop music any?
A little bit. My
Okay,
brother educates me.
okay. I sent you. a song by Ghostface and Raekwon, which are part of Wu
Nice.
Tang, and they
Yeah.
did a Turtles song. It was called
I saw
We.
that and it was really great.
Okay, okay,
I
you
was like,
got it.
holy crap, that's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
you got it. Good, good. They ain't got to worry about it. You got it. I ain't got to say no more. So
I
stuff.
love it.
Sometimes when I get stuff like that, I send it to
Yeah,
you and
send it my
everything.
way.
So yes, ma'am.
And then you
So
make me look cool because I'll send it to my brother and be like, oh yeah, I don't think you heard this.
yeah, he. Hey, that's
Because,
what's up
I'm the
right there.
older sister. I'll be like, so
Hey,
much cooler.
that's coincidence because I got a little brother. Sometimes I have to hip him to stuff too, and sometimes he hip me to stuff. So anyway, ma'am, please have a great night, great evening, great night. 'Cause I know we're
You
under the
too.
same time. Hey, cowbunga, pizzas, you know what I mean?
Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova, all that, you know what I'm saying?
We're
And
still
I see
making fun
you.
out of Donatello. Bossa Nova.
Yes, ma'am. Very Bossa Nova. So I will see you next time. Same turtle place, same turtle time.
You
And
got it.
we'll break it down once again. So much love to you, Miss Liddy, okay?
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yes, ma'am. You too, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Bye bye. All right. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for the great questions and the great facts and the stuff. Shout out to everybody that was up in here. You know what I mean? If y'all don't mind, let me shout you out right quick. OG Spade Anonymous, Channel 6, 605, Espo, Dakin, J Dub, Chef and Brims and Les was in here earlier. Shout out to Dead Stock was in here earlier. 5050 Brims was up in here earlier. So shout out to all y'all. You know what I mean? I'm gonna share this in the story. If you don't mind, share this one time and give Miss Channel 6 a follow. Check her out on TikTok. Same thing at Channel 6 Chick. Y'all check her out. She's a big time TMNT collector and Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff. Canadian chapter what she rock with. And other than that, y'all know who I am. Trying to get better every day. Virgo season. I love y'all, man. Y'all take it easy, all right? You know what I'm saying? Bookworm, I see you. And we out from your boy. Hey, baby. Sunday. Get back to your regular scheduled program.